And we are Kimmy, and
Hi.
we are live. Oh my God, y'all. You can't make this stuff up. When you're friends with your co-host, sometimes you're still talking and then you go live. Welcome, welcome. We are the Mama Beast, and we are here for this last day of June, last day of Pride Month, but definitely not the last day of Pride. Me llamo Doctora Lulu. We are here, Kimmy and I, Mama Beast, who truly don't give a fuck. Yes, yes, yes. Our podcast is explicit. So if you don't like the word, which to me is like chicken, don't listen, but share it though. So, hi, Kimmy. How is you doing, girl?
I'm exhausted and happy all at once. I got my cup filled today at the local Celine Pride picnic, which was really cute. It was amazing. I got a chance to meet the mayor, and so that was really nice. And so yeah, with getting involved in a new community is fun, but you got to get out there, even if it's
Gotta
just
get on them.
you. Like I encourage all parents, especially new parents, I guess, to the LGBTQ community to get out there, even if it's by yourself, because everybody is so friendly. You wear your free mom hugs shirt, I guarantee
Yes.
you,
Where's your
you'll
free
make
mom hug? Are
friends.
you are you wearing your free mom hugs shirt right now?
Yes, I am.
Oh yes! Oh yes! Oh my God. Okay, everyone, we are going to show off our little t-shirt. So for those of you who don't know us, we had this t-shirt made a while back. Yes, it says fuck the closet for those of you who cannot see. It says fuck the closet,
But
and at the back of it it says ask me how. Because we're parent allies. Kimmy, what are you wearing? Let me see. Let me see your oh
oh,
my God, that's
yeah,
that
I'm
big
standing
bear.
up. I'm not standing up, but it's my free mom's hug
Yes.
with a little trans baby, because I got a couple.
Yes, yes. Oh my God. Yes. Oh my God. Yes. Let me tell you, I usually wear my pin. In fact, I'm going to find it and wear it today. I wore my pin one time and I went for a walk. And then I saw this lady and her husband and three kids. She was pushing the stroller, holding on to one child, and the husband was holding on to the other, but she looked exhausted. And I just stopped her and her alone. And I said, "Ma'am, may I give you a hug?" She melted into that hug. Oh my God, it was so good. You said something about doing the same thing today. You give some hugs away today.
Absolutely. I found another mom that had a free mom's hug shirt on. And I was like, don't moms need hugs too? And she's like, oh my God, yes. And she just melted. I mean, the weight you could just feel, it was just so sweet, So, you know, wear a t shirt, go hug some people, go hug, you can't not come out of there and
Feeling better.
just
Feeling
feel
better.
it, just feel.
Yeah. Yeah, and talking about t-shirts, our friend on Facebook, his t-shirt went viral after the I guess the movie star wore his t-shirt. I don't even know who the movie star is, but but the t-shirt says you have to come through me. I guess the movie star's child is transgender. So it says you have to come through me. I love Kimmy has a lot of t-shirts that she wears that have like words like that. I have a lot of t-shirts, but I don't wear t-shirts often. But Kimmy always has something that says something really smart and something really cool. And so, in the spirit of Pride Month and every day being Pride, for those of us who are LGBTQ plus, for those of you who are allies, just being ready to be an ally every single day because Pride literally is every day, especially with the Supreme Court now trying to take on a case about gender affirming surgery. Gender affirming care. We don't know what's going to be the outcome of that. I know in Texas, um, we lost in Texas. I don't know if it's the same one that I'm still seeing floating around. And I just don't know if there's going to be an end to it. But I will tell you that this past week, I went to a conference and I had some hope. Kim, do you want to hear about it?
Yeah, absolutely. You know what? I know where you were going, and I know your heart was in the right place and everything. And I was just hoping that you were going to be welcomed, number one, and that number two, people were going to treat you well, and number three, hopefully you weren't going to come out of there feeling any kind of way.
Worse, yeah. That's a great analysis. So I was born, raised Catholic. For those of you who don't know, I'm a cradle Catholic, is what we call people who were born and indoctrinated into it. So a few years ago, actually, when I turned 50, I left the church. I was like, I'm done. I can find God by myself, which is true. And as y'all know, a lot of people are becoming like more spiritual and less religious now, because religion is just fast going out of style. People are not catching on with what they're supposed to be catching on with, whatever that is. So I went back to San Antonio in April, and I saw my friend Melissa. Oh, I was supposed to bring the painting. I don't know where the painting is. Her little daughter made a painting. Oh my God, I don't know where it is. I was supposed to find it, and I went to I wanted to support the little girl. She was like 7 years old. She made a little painting of a bird, and I was like, oh, I want the painting. So when Melissa was giving me the painting, I was like, so what are you doing for the summer? She said, oh, I'm going to Ohio for this Catholic queer conference. I was like, what? Those are just words that you just don't think you will ever hear.
Like
LGBT
almost
plus.
an oxymoron. Like,
Yes.
yes.
So I'm like, a Catholic queer conference. Well, I mean, I'm Catholic. I want to go. Or do I? I don't know. So Melissa sent me the link, and I signed up to attend. And then I said, well, you know what? If I'm going to attend, I want to speak. I want to speak. So I introduced myself and everything to them. And I said, this is who I am. This is who I am. This is what I do. Would y'all like me to speak? And they were like, we would love for you to speak, but we already have all our speakers, because the event is like in a month and a half or something like that. I was like, oh, well, too bad. And then 2 weeks ago, I get an email from them. They're like, we would like you to speak. I'm like, what? They said, well, someone dropped off, and we already have somebody doing the parent panel. But would you tackle race, culture, religion, and queerness? I was like, my coach always says, say yes and then figure it out. Melissa, I said, Melissa, I'm Kim. I'll have you know that at the end of my workshop, of course, as usual, nobody wanted to leave. But up until today, when we're closing, people were still quoting me. And everyone was like, that was the best. Okay, those who told me that that was the best workshop that they had. And I only had 2 weeks to prepare. So what I did was I went to my trusted sidekick, ChatGPT. I said, so ChatGPT, how do I tackle this topic? And she gave me a lot of different, and as you know, my ChatGPT's pronouns are she, her, because it's technically me. She gave me some ideas on how to approach the demystifying a white God who has a male pronoun, then demystifying toxic masculinity, which is what really comes from the patriarchy of organized religion, and then demystifying culture and the toxic things we learn from culture, independent of religion, and then talk about how we can celebrate our queerness and that intersection of queer joy and culture and all of these things. And let me tell you, I asked my ChatGPT to break it down into breakout sessions. Each slide was a breakout session. They ate it up. It was so good. They were like, we need more time. I was like, I know, but we just don't have enough time. It was so good. So what I did was I asked them, I said, when you close your eyes and think about God, when you hear the word God, what do you see? What image comes for you? Some said light, some said self-love, some said community, some said a man. I mean, let's come out and say it, a man. And then I showed the picture that I had of a God with white hair and white beard, and obviously it's white. And then I just tackled the topic from the conversation that I had with my dad. And I asked my dad, I said, when you see God, what do you see? And my father, who is a Black Nigerian, sees a white man. And so we talked about that. We talked about how colonialism, however y'all call it in America, when the colonialists came, they sold a white God to us, a white male God to us. And so I've been able to sit down and actually understand why they did that. If we're all made in God's image, then that means my God is a black female immigrant, and your God is a, Persian ancestor female. But also the colonialists were white men. So it makes sense that their God is a white man. And so I tried to explain that to my father. I said, can you see why your own father did not accept Christianity?
Mm-hmm.
Let me tell you, after 3 hours of talking to my father, we just agreed to not agree. Because my dad cannot see any other God but a white male. And so we
Right.
talked about that. We talked about that. So I don't know if you have any questions already, but we talked about that. And I just thought that was so interesting that my father.
Yeah, that is interesting, because I thought for sure you were going to, say at least dark skin. I don't know, but for a Nigerian man to see a white God, yeah, I guess I never stopped to really think about it. I am that person that is more spiritual, and I hope there's a God. I hope there is, definitely more to it. I think there is. I have faith that there is something better, and I believe in, the power of the universe in general, but I don't have proof. I'm kind of one of those people. So, but what I do love about religion is that it does give people hope. It does
Mm,
something to people that they need. Um,
mm.
and sometimes it takes that deep reflection to get there. And if religion does it, I don't hold it against anybody either. You know,
Yeah.
I just
We
don't.
had, me and these people, we had the best conversation. I didn't think, honestly, that I would get to the day where I would, being of sound mind and body, actually almost get to the point where I was considering, hmm, I might, I might come back to the church. Obviously, that's very, very far away, but something happened there. Being Catholics, they talk about the Pope, and they had the cardinals and the bishops or whoever, they had like a big meeting. And this guy was telling us about how, even though they had the big meeting, after they finished having the meeting, he is a gay priest and he's out and gay. And he is there. And he said, when he walked in and sat down, someone that sat next to him got up and left the seat, left the room, left the
Oh,
conference for 2 weeks. Yes. So we were like, whoa. So this is deeper than, oh my God. But
yeah.
we were able to talk about it. And he talked about how he has a conference coming up first week in August, and I was actually asking me if I could come. It's in Washington, D.C. So I'll see, because they wanted me to come and do the same thing that I did because it was so popular. So I'll
Hmm.
see. But the point is, even those who are Catholics, so this was 135 Catholics that
Hmm.
are also queer or parents of queer kids or queerness by association, like allies, like there were reverend sisters and reverend brothers and reverend fathers and all the things. They talked about blessing of gay couples, which the new pope has kind of, I guess, said is okay. And I thought it was really interesting that there were trans people who were Catholic who showed up. I was so happy to see the trans people
Hmm.
because that really brought it home
Hmm.
for me and my child, if she ever wants to go back, that there's a whole group of, they're called Marianists, Marianist. Marian, obviously after the name Mary, which is the mother of God and mother of Jesus. And these people actually have an LGBTQ plus initiative. So I don't know that it's all Marianists that are necessarily pro LGBT or supportive, but they have an LGBT plus initiative and they have a direct line to the Pope, because this father that was talking about his experience said he sat down with the Pope for 30 minutes talking about him and America and the priests in America and all the atrocities and all the things and also the good, we were just like, we ate every single word.
Yeah.
It was interesting to me because I've never met anyone like that before.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Right. That is really great. And I do have a few friends that are transgender that are also religious. They consider themselves Catholic and
Mhm.
church, but they do also, when we do have discussions just as friends do, about religion, they're always very, you got to make sure you're going to the right church. You got to make sure you know somebody. So it's still not quite as, So I'm just curious: is Marianist, is that a specific church? Is it a specific?
No, I think it's a specific, yeah, it's a good question. It's a sect, for lack of a better term, is a sub group of
Story?
Catholics, but it's like we're all moms, but these are the moms of trans kids. So they're all Catholics, but this is a sect that are, I guess maybe they believe in. No, that's the wrong word. They staunch followers of Mary or something like that. And then they have this LGBT plus initiative. As a matter of fact, there was a picture in the magazine. Let me see if I can. I don't know where it is. The little booklet that we had. There was a picture of Mary, the mother of those in the closet or something. So there's that, which is just, I've never heard about it before. But there's a picture of it, and I took a picture of the bigger poster of it. I've just never been exposed to this. This is, my brain grew, which I love. I love it when my
Yeah,
brain
it
grows.
looks like you learned a ton.
Yes, I think I didn't learn anything about Catholicism because the
No.
church, the process doesn't change. But I learned that there are queer Catholics who are pushing back,
Hmm.
who are fighting back. And the gentleman who took me to the airport, his name is Brother Chris, is freaking trans and trans and transitioned 20 years ago. I could not believe it. I'm like, how is this even possible?
Yeah.
He had his full vestment on. He's a Franciscan, he's a Dominican priest. I don't know, Franciscan priest or something. No, a Benedictine monk. He's a freaking monk. I was like, what is happening?
Okay.
And he's trans. And then he shared his story with me. He's going to come on the podcast, but
Yeah.
he was telling me how, yes, because he's trans. He was so
Yes.
happy. He's going to drive back to Kentucky, and it's like a 4-hour drive, and he's going to listen to our podcast the entire time.
Wow.
Yes, he's going to come on the show. So he was telling me about how one person, well, first of all, he transitioned. He was not a religious person. Then he transitioned. Then he discovered the Brotherhood, I think, and then he became a Catholic after transitioning. And maybe he just came out as trans a month ago, but he's been stealth the entire time. And as you all know, for those who don't know, a stealth person is someone who is fully passing as trans for all intents and purposes and doesn't share that they're trans. Or someone who is not fully passing but doesn't share that they're trans. Either way, they usually are not sharing that they're trans. But this person is fully passing as a man in all ramifications. I couldn't believe it myself. And I sat next to him in the front seat. He took me to the airport and he told me about how someone found out, a Karen found out and reported to the bishop, and then they kicked him out of this monastery. And he said he was homeless for a little while, and he started going from place to place looking for another monastery. And then he found this bishop in Kentucky who is pro LGBT and welcomed him, and that's how come he's in Kentucky. He would rather not be in Kentucky because Kentucky is not affirming as a state,
Right.
but his bishop is. And it was just an interesting story. And so he has this, so I said, so tell me about because they have to swear, not the celibacy part, but to swear to poverty. I was so intrigued. I said, tell me about that. And he said, well, they have a jobs, but the money is like maybe it's like split up or something. I don't
There.
know. But he is a solitary monk. He lives by himself and doesn't talk to anyone. But to come to the event, he had to take permission from the bishop so he could talk to us. But normally he doesn't talk to anybody. So he swore to be that kind of monk. And I'm just like, it was just really beautiful just to hear him talk about, you would, Kimmy, if I didn't tell you, you will never know. Like,
Yeah.
so beautiful.
It is beautiful. And that's where we need to get though, is that,
Yes.
that does it frickin' matter if they're trans or not? They're a human. You're going to church with them. You're sitting next to them. You're praying with them. What is the big deal?
What
Why,
is the big
why
deal?
like why do you care? I
Why do
don't
you
know.
care?
So
And
it
why is another member of the church telling on him?
right. Well,
Another sister or whatever.
and but um yeah, no, I don't know. I would love to see, a time, you know, even if it's like from another world looking here again, just to see a time where people are passing other people that are all different genders and everybody's just like, who cares? They have blonde hair, they have black hair, they have green hair. I mean,
They're black. I mean, they're just
they're black,
regular,
white,
yeah. They're just regular humans. Let me
everybody,
tell you,
yeah.
it was amazing. And
It,
then we talked about culture. And then when they broke out, when they broke into their little groups and then came out of the groups, this white lady raised up her hand and said, she said something that was, to me, was amazing because I've never thought about white people as having culture. She said, you know what? We tend to say that white people don't have culture, but we actually have a culture. It's a culture of hatred. And I was like, she said it's a culture of supremacy. And I was like, and then we talked about how to to go around that. And it was amazing. We had maybe 6 men of like 70 people in the room.
yeah.
6 of them were men. And even though we were talking about how to decolonize toxic masculinity, I noticed that the men in their subgroups were still hugging the mic. The men in the bigger group were still doing most of the talking. And so I pointed that out to them.
Hmm.
I said, I want you to just take a moment and see how women, even in a space where we're asking you to demystify and deconstruct, you know what I mean? Like it was like, wow.
Well, some people are interested in demystifying, and some people might like it just the way it is.
Yes.
I'm just saying.
I'm just saying. It was crazy. I
Yeah.
am very happy that it took place. I'm very happy that I did it. I am so proud of myself. Um, and then after that, there were other events. There was a parenting event. They're parents of a non-binary child. And the thing that we talked about last week, she said, that she told her child, yeah, I mean, we're going to support you, but I don't even want you to say a word about transitioning. She said, I don't want to hear about it because, you don't know anything about it. And then the kid came at 20 or 21 and said, you know what, y'all, I'm going to transition whether you like it or not. And so I had to I said, okay, after you attended my class yesterday, what would you have done different? She said, oh, honey, I would have not made it about me. I would have asked him, how can I support him? And all the things. I think he goes by he, they, I would have done all the things, and I said, okay. And I wanted her to own that because she was like,
Yeah.
oh, he's special. He's this, he's that, he's this, is that. But then she said something, she and her husband said something that when the kid was like 7, they would ask him to, you know, do more stuff. And he would say, no, I don't want to be seen. People will see me. And I was like, wow, that was profound. And I told the father, I said, because the father is closer to the father had less trouble with the transitioning, but she was like, but that was my baby girl and all the things. I was like,
Oh,
and then the dad said, and then the dad said, the child said, he didn't want that people will see me. And I told him, I said, tell your child that that is the title of their book. That is such a powerful. He didn't want to do much because people will see him. Because in his mind, people could see that he was not aligning to the gender that he was assigning. Is what I was thinking. Because the kid was only 7. Imagine a 7-year-old not knowing what to say. He said, "No, I don't want to do that because I don't want people to see me."
mm-hmm.
And I said, "What do you mean? People can already see you." He said, "No, they will see. They'll see the real me." And I was like, "Oh my God."
It's scary. For us, so heartbreaking, isn't it?
And it was only later on that looking back, and I said, that's exactly what I say to parents. Your children are telling you, they're telling you when they're young, you're just not listening. You're not hearing. You're not hearing what they want to know. And then the kid didn't have any other words except, I don't want people to see me. They're going to see me as I am. And the dad was like, what do you mean? They can already see you. But he's like, yeah, but they'll see the real me. And I was like,
Mm. Yeah. Yep. The isolation. That's probably one of the saddest parts of watching kids struggle with their identity is the isolation.
yeah, the isolation is bad. And I tell people all the time when it comes to suicide attempt, most people, because I had a whole podcast with 240 episodes on suicide alone, just specifically, a lot of them will say to me that they did not want the isolation. And the isolation was why they said, you know what, I'm just going to go ahead and just jump. I might as well. Nobody can see me. I'm invisible. I might as well just jump. What's the use?
Well, there's that. I think that's that internal struggle too. That
Yes.
hand they don't want to be seen,
Hmm.
and on another hand, they want to be seen.
But they want to be seen for who
But
they
but
really
but
are.
it's flipped around. You know.
Yes.
You
They want
know.
to be seen for who they really are, not to
Right.
be seen this way. But
But
all we want to do is see them this
we
way
want
and
them,
force them to be this. Yes. It's
want,
so
let's say it. We want them to be this way because it's easier,
it's easier.
and and they're not. Okay, so we just need to accept it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It,
One of the other things I wanted to share before we go is how triggered I was. I was triggered. I was triggered creating the slides. I was triggered getting on the plane to go there. I was triggered when I got there. I told everyone that I was triggered, and and my body did something. I don't want to say phenomenal because it wasn't, but my body, my left ankle was this big and very painful and hot. It just became inflamed on its own. So, for those of you who don't know, I was diagnosed with fibromyalgia 15 years ago. And one of the things that happen with fibromyalgia is just you just get pain all over your body. But also, if you have enthesitis, which is what I have, inflammation of the tendons, sometimes they just become inflamed. And so, right this moment, the swelling is gone. There's only a little bit of pain, if any at all. But while I was in Dayton, Ohio, the day of my presentation, to show you just how triggering it was for me, my left ankle was huge. I had to elevate it and take Motrin and put ice
mm-hmm.
all through the night, all through the movie that we had to watch. We watched a movie called Carini about this Reverend sister who was Italian and fought the toxic patriarchy and all that. So just so people know that sometimes truly physical stuff can cause emotional, and emotional stuff can cause physical. because that was an emotional reaction I was having. And
Mm.
my left knee, my left ankle, people were like, "Oh my God, what happened? Did he twist it?" I said, "Nothing,
Nothing. It's just
nothing,
thing. It's angry. It was
nothing."
triggered.
Now the ankle is swelling is a little bit less. I mean, my pain is a little bit less. Swelling is a whole lot less, but it
So do
happened
you
to.
think the stress of being triggered your fibromyalgia
Oh
to
yeah, that's why I'm explaining.
that's like the whole chain, yeah.
Yes,
Mhm.
exactly. Just so people can. So that's why I said to myself,
Yeah.
I said, until my body is ready to accept me going back to the church without these little triggering, I don't have any, I have nothing against them, but I
Right.
don't know that I want. But then my friend Ish, who actually helped me prepare my slides and kind of guide me, said they know an affirming Catholic church in Atlanta. So I said, okay, well, I'll go. I'll go once and
Yeah.
check it out. Why not?
Yeah.
I don't hate God. I don't have anything against God. God didn't do anything to me. It's people that call God's name that did stuff to me. It's
Mhm.
not God, because God is not going to come down. If God does exist, God did not do anything to me. Now, the
No.
people who are created in God's image, who call God all the time, they are the ones that are causing my body to break down. It's
Exactly.
crazy.
What a great way to look at it too is that, your God didn't do anything to you. He didn't do it's the middleman.
God has never done anything to anybody, which is
It's
why
the
I
middle.
wrote a few things during the weekend. I was inspired by that, and I said, you are made in God's image. So don't let anybody tell you that they have a higher seat in Christ's body for those who believe more than you,
Mhm.
because you're equal in God's eyes. Don't let anybody tell you, that's a big old lie.
Mhm.
And if you are made in God's image, then you are God. And if God is love, then you are love. So you're love. You are. There's nothing wrong with you.
No, love is beautiful.
Love is love. It's just a word. It's a freaking verb, adjective, or whatever. All of the above. So I just thought that was so neat. And I wanted to talk about this person that I met. Oh, Kim, you will love them. And I think they're going to come on the show. Their name is A,
A, the letter.
the letter.
Ooh, bold.
Non-binary, created this most amazing artwork that we use for the entire thing. It was a black Mary wearing a Palestinian. It's just to tell you that this was a millennial wearing a Palestinian uh, habit and had the progressive LGBT flag on.
Wow,
Amazing.
that's pretty cool.
Ironically,
That's
ironically,
pretty cool.
I know, ironically, A's mother was crying about how she misses her daughter, and like, oh my God, oh, I just want my daughter. And I was like, and the next sentence was like, but when I look at, and then she kept mispronouncing and mispronouncing. I said, oh, I'm still struggling with the pronouns. I'm like, and the mispronouncing, and I truly avoided this person because I didn't want to, I didn't want to engage, because she also said to us that A has never been happier. A is so like it's all up in their full anus and has a clipboard and is in charge of a whole circle and doing all the things. But I want my daughter back. And I was like,
That's a you problem.
oh well. And then they were like, oh, please take all the time you need to mourn. I was like, then I raised my hand. I said, can we have someone who's trans tell you what that's like? And then this kid who is, I think, 17 or 18, who is trans said, actually, I find that a little uncomfortable because I'm here. That's what the kid said. Because I'm right here. I didn't die. I was like, yes. I'm right here. Now, it wasn't A, it was someone else who
Mhm.
said to the mother, like, that actually, that's a little uncomfortable as a trans person because I didn't die. I'm right here.
Didn't
I,
go any.
I gave them those words through telepathy. I said, I wanted them to say that they're
I
alive.
know enough people to know exactly what they're thinking. Yeah, I mean,
I sent those words to that kid by telepathy. I was like, tell them, tell these people that you are here and alive and you need to be
yeah,
celebrated. And that's what the kid said. I don't
perfect.
know how they
Good.
heard my brain, but my brain was in sync with it. And after we finished, the kid came to me and gave me a long hug. I said, thank you so much. And I said, I got you. I said, that's exactly what I wanted you to say.
I
And he
got
said,
it. I love it.
and the kid actually said what you just said. That's a her problem.
Yes. It's like a her problem. Yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah, any parents that, and it's funny because I think that sometimes parents might join groups like our Facebook group, or or kind of want to hang with us and see what we're all about. But I think sometimes when they realize that we're not talking about
Why
them,
not? Thank you.
they kind of go, "Oh, never mind.
Yes,
This is
yes,
about me."
yes,
Um,
yes.
and it is. Don't get me wrong. It is about them. It is about their journey. Do you want to make it a tough one or an easy one?
On easy, yes. And
I
I and
mean,
I actually after the kids spoke, I wrote and I said, you know what, the definition of suffering is knowing the right thing. And then just saying, you know what, I know this is the right thing I need to do, but I'm gonna be over here and not do it yet. That's suffering.
mhm, yeah,
That is suffering.
it's hard to watch.
It was very hard for me to watch.
They're hard to watch.
For me to watch. I want to end on a note about this black transgender woman. Where there were three black people at the entire conference of 135 people, and I said something about that.
Mhm.
I said, we need to be more inclusive. We need more Latina people. There was only like four of them, and then there was like we need, because anybody that comes into the space will just think all Catholics are white, or rather,
Mm.
Catholics are only white people. But we have black Catholics, we have Indian Catholics, we have Hispanic.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Like they're not here, they're not represented. So I said, next year y'all have your work cut out for you,
Yep. Little
because
more
they're
mark.
all looking for God and they're all looking for reconciliation and they're all trying to hear people talking about them, that they count and that they matter. So go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh no, go ahead. Keep going.
Yeah. So there's this the black trans. Her name, and oh my God, you need to check her out when we're done with this. Her name is Brianna Sinclair. She is an opera soprano, and she's 6'5", I think.
Wow. All right.
Brianna Sinclair. Look her up. Brianna Sinclair.
Got it.
She sang. So Brianna, I'm going to send you this particular episode so you can listen to me. Just give you your flowers. I didn't know anything about her, and on my while I was waiting on the at the airport, I took a chance to say, well, let me just check who. Let me just see who this chick. I'm like, she's huge. But we did not know. I mean,
I am so tiny.
I did not know because I also didn't want to, and I know people really usually want you to just treat them like normal because she was like she is a celebrity, and she's out there. Um, but yeah, I thought it was so
It
neat.
sounds like you got so much out of it. And
Oh yeah, she and I bonded because of other things, and she was like, "Oh, I
yeah,
love it so much. I can't wait for your book." And I put her in my book. She said, "I
good.
can't wait for your book." Yeah, I put her. I had to.
Yeah.
I added one extra misconception about the fact that transgender people are trans because they've been sexually assaulted. Because she shared her story with us, and I said, "Au contraire." Because they're gender minorities, they are often sexually assaulted
Mhm.
as a result. But they are not transgender because of that. So, and I said, for instance, Brianna, and I said, y'all go check her out. And she sang in Berlin and in the UK. And everywhere. She just, and then she's going to Brazil and she's doing this all the time. I was like,
Oh.
we were just like, so good, so good. So I want to end on that note, on a happy note, because she's living her best life. She kept her voice. She said transitioning did not affect her voice, which is amazing. And she talked about how her dad used to beat her up every single day because she was feminine every day. And then she said she saw herself as princess, as Ariel, the mermaid. She said she just doesn't understand why her dad was beating her because she said, I'm a girl. Why is he beating me up? Because why is it? Because I'm a girl. So, and that was, to me, that was the line
Mm-hmm.
for me. She said, why is he beating me up? I'm a girl. Can't you see that I'm a girl?
Oh.
She's in her 30s now.
Well,
She lives in San
I
Francisco.
can't wait. I would love to have her on the show. I
Oh,
think
she's coming on the show. Oh,
yeah,
she's coming. She was like,
I
just
can't.
tell me when. And I was like, it's done. In fact, she's coming to Atlanta. She's never been to Atlanta before. She's coming to Atlanta for the Pride. She's going to stay with me. I said,
Nice.
just come. Just come and let's paint the town red. She's 6'5".
Uh,
Beautiful. When we're done, anybody who's listening to me, please go find Brianna Sinclair.
Brianna's going to get a following.
Sinclair. Claire with an accent on the E because it's French, she says. Yes, so that's Brianna Sinclair. Y'all go find this human being and just follow her and tell her I sent you. She's just a beautiful human being. She's like, oh my God. And I was like, oh my God. And we're like, oh my God. It was crazy. It was just so good. But I want us to end on that note. So to everyone who's listening to us, this was our last episode for Pride Month. But as you know, we'll be back next week because Pride is every day for us. We are MamaBeasts, and we are here to show you, to just normalize conversations about queerness, about transness, about mommying and daddying and pappying and all the things, parenting, queer kids, trans kids, because it might be a tough pill, but you can swallow it. So go ahead and swallow really quickly so you can get on board.
Yes.
So Kimmy, what do you want to say for the week as we go into the week? I think I got everything that I wanted to say. And yeah, the event was in Dayton, Ohio. Next year is going to be in Chicago. And the group is called Marianists. And the conference was Imago Dei. Imago Dei is Italian, I think, for image of God. So that's it. All right. I think it's Italian. It might be Latin. My bad. It's Latin for image of God. So that's it. So y'all go check them out. Tell them that Lulu sent y'all. Yes. All right, Kimmy, take us home. Thank you for letting me speak. That was good.
Oh my gosh, I couldn't wait to hear all about it. I kept seeing all your posts and I was kind of trying to follow along and couldn't wait to talk to you today. So I'm glad you decided we could go live. Um, it was a great week. Pride is not over. Our
Mhm.
job here is not done. I think we have a lot of work to do to prepare for election time. So, with the first debates that happened this week, we know where we need to focus. So let's just make sure we get out there and vote. Keep an eye on things, research your facts. That's all. That's all I got to say about that because that
Okay.
kind of, I was like, ooh. Then Supreme Court was getting all wild this week, and just look up your news, guys, and please just we got to stop with the nonsense, and
Yeah.
so let's try to get educated again.
Yeah. Let's try to be a smart country. Here's the thing. For me, I want to help because somebody was like, so Dr. Lulu, what are you gonna say? I said, I'm gonna stay and fight. I'm gonna stay and fight. And by fight, I mean I'm gonna protect my mental health. I want everyone who can hear me. You have it available to you. You can disconnect. Humans can do that. You
Mhm.
can be part. You can be in it, but not entangled in it.
Yep.
It's whoever wins. You are still responsible for your own actions.
Mm-hmm.
You are still responsible for your own thoughts. Whoever wins, you are still responsible for your own thoughts and your own actions. And when your child tells you that they're trans or gay or bi or pan or queer, you are still responsible for responding to your child. So you have to find your own way to protect yourself. My advice is find it. I don't know the way for you. Everybody knows their own way.
Mm-hmm.
And if you find yourself in the closet and that's where you prefer to be there, but protect yourself. In fact, I want all queer folks to make a decision to be stealth if they have to. You don't have to tell anybody. And then again, if you want to tell someone, I can help you. Come out safely with pizzazz and confidence, in spite of what your parents might think, in spite of what the government might think, in spite of what all the things. Because you can do it. Your life depends on it. We need you. The world needs you. Your voice is needed. You are important. You matter. I received the hug. Yes, the hearts. Oh, Kimmy, did you see your hearts came?
Oh, I did it on accident earlier, and now
But it's still this coming. It's not coming from me. Sometimes it does that. Sometimes it comes and sometimes it doesn't. But yeah, I want to say thank you to everyone for listening to me today. Thank you all so much for just being there. I don't know.
yeah. Thank you. Thank
Yeah.
you. We'll talk again.
Yeah,
Soon.
absolutely. Absolutely. All right. Well, I'll see y'all. Have a good week ahead. It's Pride Month ending today, but it's Pride every single day. If that's all you take from this, and then go follow Brianna, we'll be good. All right, listen, if you're queer and you'd like help with coming out safely, please let me know. If you'd like to get on the list for my book, please let me know. The book is almost ready, Kimmy. Ah!
Let's do this.
Almost. Almost.
All right.
All right, folks. Toodles. See y'all next Sunday. Bye.
Later.
Bye, Kimmy. Thank you.
Bye.
It was good. It was so good. All right, folks. Bye. Bye bye. And if you'd like, for real, if you'd like to get more information about the book, just send me a DM. The book is called About Your Black Transgender Child, Questions to Most of Your Burning, Answers to Most of Your Burning Questions. Yes. And my name is Dr. Lulu. I'm a life coach. I'm a gender and sexuality life coach, and I'm happy to help you. So just let me know. All right. Peace, love, and soul. Peace, love, and soul. Bye.